What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. I just got done seeing Mortal Kombat 2 just a few hours ago. I'm literally like 4 or 5 hours out of the screening of Mortal Kombat 2. This is my second most anticipated movie of the year. Now, after everything like Scream 7 came out, because Scream 7 I was hyped for, but, you know, that turned out to be trash. And yeah, I have seen the film. And, you know, most of the stuff going around online is just, oh, it's such a better movie than the first one. It's 10 times better than the first one. It's way better than the first one. It's better than the first one. It's better than the first one. That's all you keep hearing is it's better than the first one. And how it's the perfect Mortal Kombat movie. And it's just, it's great. It's just fantastic. It's all these things everybody's saying, right? There's a lot of buzz going on about this movie. And so I went into this being like, oh yeah, this is going to be perfect. 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 is going to be fucking phenomenal. And finishing the film, I was very mixed on how I feel about this movie. I'm like, part of me loved it, and then part of me really didn't. Overall, the conclusion I came to is that it's a really fun, fast-paced, enjoyable time. It is a good Mortal Kombat movie. It is better than the first one, but it is a deeply flawed movie, even for a Mortal Kombat film. I still gave it 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, so I gave it a pretty high score, you know, because I felt like it. Most of the things I didn't like were nitpicks, but there's just a lot of fucking nitpicks. There's a lot of them, and they add up. And then there was one big thing that I'm like, oh yeah, this is an issue for me. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it and start talking about it. All right, so starting off, before I get into the things I liked and didn't like, the whole story of this film, you know, we had the first one in 2021. It's been a few years since then. They came in with the second one, and their pitch was, we fixed every single problem that you guys hated from the first movie. Every single thing you didn't like about the first movie, we fixed. We either got rid of it or made it better. And they weren't lying for the most part. There was a lot of things from the first movie that got fixed in this. For one, the whole Arcana thing with the tattoo on them. Not mentioned, not shown, not brought up at any point in this movie. There is nothing about the Arcana. They just completely left it out, which I'm very happy about. They don't really choose to explain how people have their powers. So I don't know if they retconned it or if they just, again, chose not to talk about it, but that was one thing a lot of people, including myself, were not big on in the first movie. Cole Young, another big problem people had in the first movie. Well, they took care of that real quick. He dies pretty early into this movie. He dies very early on into the film. So that's another thing people took care of. Not a whole lot of fights were a big complaint. They fixed that, definitely. There were about 20 fights in this movie. There was a lot. A lot. People were complaining about the budget a lot. The budget is 10 times bigger. People were complaining about the scale. The scale is 10 times bigger. The two main things, though, that I complained about with the first movie were not fixed or addressed at all. And that's runtime and fatalities. Runtime is just about the same. The runtime should have been longer. This should have been a 2-hour and 20-minute film. With the amount of lore that you have to fit in, this movie should have been longer. And second to the fatalities, there was like no fatalities in this movie. Like there was such a small amount. There was more in the first movie. There was more. There were so very few fatalities in this movie. The only fatalities I can think of, Shao Kahn when he kills Cole Young, if you want to call it that, where he smashes the head, or he smashes his hammer on Cole's head, and his head literally just explodes. He gets a very brutal death. I know people really didn't like his character. I didn't hate it to death, but I wasn't a big fan of him either. But damn, that motherfucker had a family, dude. He had a wife and a daughter, and they just... Then they threw his... Shao Kahn threw his body in acid, and he just dissipated. So, but yeah, there's that. If you want to even call that a fatality, I guess you can. You get that. You get Kung Lao, his death is kind of a fatality. He gets his like whole innards just fucking shredded up in his spinning hat. And then you also get, trying to think, I know there is another one. To be honest, I think it's like Scorpions, if you want to call that. Like he splits Bihan in half, if you want to call that a fatality. But there, like, my point is, there's not many. There's only very few. So those are my two big things that weren't addressed. But it is what it is. Those are definitely negatives for me. Since we're there, let's continue talking about the negatives. Another big problem. Raiden in this movie, man. Raiden in this movie fucking sucks. He sucks. I mean, it sucks. He sucked in the first movie, and he sucks even worse in this, to be honest. Because he's supposed to be the big bad of Earthrealm. He's supposed to be the mega boss. The main man, right? He's the one who's supposed to give knowledge and help his fighters. He's supposed to give them hope and then, give them heart-to-hearts and talk to them and speak with them. In this, man, Raiden, first of all, no offense to the actor playing Raiden, he should have been fired. I can't understand what he's saying. Raiden in the games is very stoic. He's got a very deep voice like Clancy Brown. That's what I always think of when I hear Raiden. It's very, we need to protect Earthrealm. It's very strong and just a very clear-cut voice. In this, his voice is all raspy. He doesn't fully speak English, so you can't fully make out what he's saying. On top of that, he gets sidelined for 90% of the movie. He gets his throat slit right in the beginning by Shang Tsung. Or Quan Chi, it was one of them. I don't know why they did that, and he's just sidelined the whole movie. He doesn't show up again until the end, where he's fixed. He's just so useless. Part of me doesn't even understand why he was in here. More wasted characters. Shang Tsung and Quan Chi, I thought, were pretty wasted in this movie. I really don't know why they were in it either. I mean, it's okay having them in the background, because that's what they are. They were just kind of there. They don't really do anything that important, per se. I mean, Quan Chi does more than Shang Tsung does. Shang Tsung's just kind of chilling around. He's just kind of there. Quan Chi, he fucking brings Kano back to life, and, he brings Kung Lao back to life. So he's not completely useless. Shang Tsung is just useless. He's so useless. But that's fine, I guess, because he was the bad guy in the first movie. You kind of have to look at this as like a one full big story trilogy from like first to the final movie. Another pretty big issue, and this was actually my main issue with the movie. The movie really never slows the fuck down. The movie never takes its time to show characters having moments together and to flesh out characters and to have arcs. The only person who really has much of an arc in this movie is Johnny and Katana. This is their movie, by the way. It's all about them, really. Everybody else is kind of just a side character. But I just wanted to see more character moments. I was hoping to have a moment with Johnny and Sonya by the end. I was hoping maybe they were going to start dating like they do in the game. Where he didn't just prove it to himself, but he proved something to her. Jax and Sonya, wish they would have had more moments. Cole Young and some other guys, I wish they would have had some moments together. We did get some moments with Jade and Katana. We got some moments with Johnny and Sonya in the beginning. A moment with Johnny and Raiden. But it's not... they're so small and very few of them. The whole movie is just pretty much action. And so if the movie was a bit longer, like 2 hours and 20 minutes, like is what it should have been in my opinion, they could have put more of those scenes in there. That was my biggest problem with the movies. The movie just doesn't slow down. It's just constant, which I love, but you got to balance it, and they don't. It's just constant. It's just nonstop action. That was my biggest issue with the movie. Another problem I had with the movie, I wasn't that big on Johnny Cage. I just don't think Karl Urban was the right choice. I just don't. He's not charismatic enough. He doesn't have enough personality to him. He's just, Karl Urban, great actor. He's just better with more serious, stern roles like Billy Butcher and The Boys. He's just better that way. He's just not Johnny Cage. He's not. He's just this... You could tell... Karl Urban throughout this whole movie felt like he was acting. You could tell he was acting. He didn't embody the character the way everybody else does. Everybody else embodies their character for the most part. Not him. You can tell he's acting. And you can, like, the accent, for example. His American accent's so bad. His American accent's very bad. You can so easily tell it's not his real accent. And then his line deliveries are weird too, man. I mean, the one part that really stuck out to me was when he's fighting Katana towards the beginning. And he gets his ass kicked, but before that, he's like, whoa, wait, whoa. I really do not want to hit a girl. It's like he's acting so hard. You could tell he's just trying to act instead of actually embodying the character. Um, and he didn't work for me entirely. And especially when it came to scenes where he like pairs up with Kano. Oh my God, dude. Kano just steals his spotlight instantly. They're both supposed to be such charismatic characters, and Kano completely just eats it up. Because Kano's kind of pretty much a good guy in this. So they're in a lot of scenes together, so he just eats up all of Johnny's aura. It's just like he just becomes this nice, just like, eh. Kano's so much more entertaining. So yeah, I wasn't too big on Johnny in this. Aside from that, though, I mean, like, I had some other nip. I thought Shao Kahn could have been a little stronger. I thought he got his ass kicked a little bit too much. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he fucked people up in this movie. He's still great, which I will get into. But I just thought that like there was quite a few times where, as I said, a lot of power scaling rankings, like Sonya killing Sindel. Like, what the hell? There's no way Sonya is killing Sindel. Are you crazy? Sindel is the character that, dude. This is the same woman who in MK9 wiped out almost all of Earthrealm's fighters, dude. She killed Nightwolf. She killed Cyber Sub-Zero. She killed Jax. She killed all these people. She killed so many of them. Half their fighters were wiped out because of her. And this woman lost to Sonya Blade. Her only ability is to shoot fucking purple rings out of her. I was like, what? As I say, she was barely in the movie either. I don't even know why, what's-her-face? Sindel was in it. She had nothing to do. Another big problem. Bihan and Scorpion, dude, they should have been in the movie more, man. They didn't show up until the ending. They weren't in it till the end. Again, that's kind of a nitpick for me because I get it. It's hard to shove all these characters into one big movie. And there's a lot of deaths in this movie. And I figured, oh, okay, well, there's a lot of deaths probably because they need to make space for new characters in the third. But apparently at the end they say, oh, we're going to go bring all of our friends back to life. So it's like all the deaths we got in this movie amount to nothing. But yeah, so they don't come in until the end. I didn't find... Noob Saibot was sick in this movie, but he was nowhere near as cool as Sub-Zero was in the first movie. It wasn't even close. Sub-Zero just had so much more aura. I was hoping we were going to get to see the new Sub. I was hoping we were going to get to meet Kuai Liang. Hopefully in the third one, they bring in Kuai Liang. I'd love that. That'd be awesome. Again, he's not in this. So it'd be nice maybe if they do that. Some other nitpicks, like they didn't bring back certain characters. Like I really wish they would have brought back Melina and Cabal from the first game or from the first movie. I know there was other people like Natara. I didn't care if she came back. Goro, I didn't give a fuck about him. Raiko, I didn't care if he came back. But I really wanted to see Melina and Cabal come back, and they didn't bring him back. They kind of just repurposed Melina for Jade's role in this, where Jade's just kind of like the bad sister in the beginning. Like even Katana calls her sister at one point, and she's kind of bad, but then she comes around at the end, and they have their kind of a rivalry at some point, But yeah, again, it's the kind of I get why they didn't do it. Again, they had to fit a lot of characters into this movie. So yeah, those were pretty much all my dislikes. There's quite a few of them, like I said, but a lot of them were more small. There's a couple big ones in there. But now I'm going to get into the things that I really did like. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about are characters. I think they did most of their characters fantastically in this. Of course, like I said, I wasn't a fan of Raiden or Johnny Cage all that much. I felt like those are the two they really just did dirty. And even like Johnny Cage, it wasn't horrible to watch. He just wasn't Johnny Cage to me. The best character of the movie, in my opinion, is gotta be Shao Kahn, dude. Shao Kahn in this movie is a fucking menace. A menace, dude. This motherfucker is so badass. First of all, he looks incredible. All the characters look incredible. All their costumes have been updated. Raiden looks 10 times better. I like Johnny's outfit. Sonya still looks the same. Cole Young still had the same outfit. Jax looks cooler. You can tell he's bigger. Liu Kang looks cooler. He's bigger as well. Kung Lao with his Revenant outfit looks sick. Kano, they gave him his accurate vest. Wish they would have gave Kano the eye. I don't know why they didn't. I guess because they didn't want to take away from the acting or whatever. But yeah, they didn't give him his metal eye or whatever. Yeah, but that's okay. So yeah, a lot of the costumes, even Shang Tsung's wasn't as good as it was in the first one, I thought, but still he looked cool. Quan Chi looked cool. His Katana and Jade, they look good. So, like, all the costumes were great. But Shao Kahn, man, his helmet, the red eyes they gave him, the scales. I love his hammer, dude. His entire outfit, he just looked fucking sick. His voice was awesome. He sounded intimidating and menacing upon looking like it. He's gigantic in this movie. He just kills everyone, dude. He kills, like I said earlier, he kills Cole Young. He just literally squishes his face like a his head like a watermelon with the hammer. Just squished it. He kills Jax. He takes that hammer and shoves it right through Jax's. He like shoves it through Jax's arm into his chest. He kills him. He kills Liu Kang. He shoves the hammer right through his chest, and then Liu Kang kind of dissipates into fire and dies. So, dude, took out a lot of people. He kills Jared at the beginning of the movie, which we all knew that was how we saw it in the trailers, right? But he kills him. He almost kills Katana. Like, he is a fucking menace in this movie. Dude, fantastic. Again, I was happy with the character deaths. I was glad that they weren't holding back. I was glad that they were not afraid to kill off characters, because there was a few times in the movie I was like, oh my god, he's dead. Like, again, I did not see that coming with Jax and Liu Kang, dude. With Cole Young, I was still shocked just because of how fucking brutal it was. But I figured they were going to do it. It was barely in the trailers. People didn't like him. I knew it was probably coming. Another thing, visually, this movie's fucking stunning, dude. Stunning movie, dude. The amount of different maps they made, like Earthrealm looked gorgeous. Raiden's Temple just looked beautiful. The map, I forget I don't remember the names of the maps. I can only describe them to you. The one with the big portal that's purple behind Liu Kang and Kung Lao when they fight, gorgeous. So beautiful looking. You get the pit. I wasn't a big fan of the way they did the pit in this. It's literally just like this small circular room and with a couple of spiky poles in it. I wasn't a big fan of that, but it still was cool to see the homage to it. You get the room where the acid flooring or whatever, where the acid, you're just like kind of on this one pillar and there's acid all around you. That's where Shao Kahn kills Cole Young. That was really cool to see. The Nether Realm looks fucking awesome. So sick. This is a very gorgeous movie. I would dare to say this is the best looking movie of the year so far for me. I really do believe that. Along with the makeup and special effects, dude. Baraka looks fucking insane with his makeup. Again, Shao Kahn looks awesome. You get to see him without his helmet at one point. He looks sick. The makeup in this movie is fucking incredible. And then another thing, the fighting, dude. Just the fights are just insane. The choreography is so well done. There was never a moment in the movie where I was like, all right, that looks fake. All right, you can tell that's a stunt double. Okay, you can see they're doing wire work or this or that. No, dude, fights were just, there's so many of them. Kung Lao versus Liu Kang, fucking incredible. Shao Kahn versus Jared. Shao Kahn versus Katana. Shao Kahn versus Jax, Sonya, and Liu Kang. Shao Kahn versus Cole Young. Dude, so many of them. You get Johnny Cage versus Baraka in this movie. You get Noob Saibot versus Scorpion in this movie. You even get a little bit of Kano versus Noob Saibot in this movie. You get to see Johnny and Katana go at it a little bit, which is cool. You get to see Jax versus Jade in this movie, which is sick. Sonya versus Sindel, like I said. There's so many freaking fights. There's so many of them. There's tons to choose from. I do think my favorite was probably I think I liked Liu Kang, Sonya, and Jax versus Shao Kahn. I think that was my favorite fight of the film. That's where Jax gets killed by Shao Kahn. That was probably my favorite fight. It was so good. You know, like again with the visual effects, fucking Liu Kang summons these two fire dragons like this, and he shoves them in and fires them at Shao Kahn, and it's so awesome, just so sick. And that's anything. This movie's so fun, man. It's so fun, and it moves by like that. Like I said, it's just such a fun movie. There was never a time where I was like, all right, I'm getting bored. All right, when's this gonna end? It was just so fun all throughout. I think this movie did definitely hit with the emotions. There was some emotional bits, like I said. You know, I think the stuff with Katana was great. You know, she watched her father die, and you know her arc was to go redeem her father. And at the end, she does. She kills Shao Kahn, defeats him. and she becomes the new leader of Edenia. And Sindel is kind of like, I don't know, Sindel dies in the movie, but she comes back again as a revenant. She's already a revenant in the movie, but then she dies and then becomes another revenant again. Same with Kung Lao. He was already a revenant in this film, but then he dies. But him and Liu Kang have a nice moment where Liu Kang's trying to talk him out of it, and he's not listening. So there's that, and then again, the whole thing with Cole Young was really sad. He talks to Johnny. He's like, I promised my family I'd be back, but the hard truth is I'll probably never see them again. And again, sure enough, he probably won't unless they bring him back in the sequel. But so that was really cool. It had some really nice moments, tons of goosebump moments, dude. Like, obviously, anytime they use Techno Syndrome, it's just awesome. I remember specifically in the time where Johnny Cage, he's just getting his ass kicked by Baraka, and they're like talking to him, and they're like, Johnny, you got to do this. And he gets up and he flicks the glasses on, and Techno Syndrome starts playing, and he kicks the shit out of Baraka, which then they become friends. Another big thing I liked, Kano in this movie, man. I loved Kano in this movie. Kano was a huge highlight in the first movie. He's in this movie. He's kind of absent for the most part from the first half. Actually, he's kind of absent for like the first 60% of the movie, maybe even 70, 80%. Yeah, 80%. The first 80% of the movie, he's kind of just not there. You see him a few times. You see him get his eye back. You see him making a couple jokes, making fun of Quan Chi a few times here and there. But it's all those scenes together is probably like 2 minutes. Then towards the end, when like it looks like all hope's lost, so many of their warriors have died, Shao Kahn has Shinnok's amulet, and it's like it made him immortal. He comes in and he's like, I'm going to help you guys because I hate Outworld. I do not want it to be that way. And he helps them. Yeah, he's a full-on good guy in this, which I'm so happy to see. I really like that they made him a good guy. And, him and Johnny have such funny moments. Again, him and Quan Chi have some funny moments in there. But it was just cool seeing him actually be a good guy and work with them. And the final shot of the movie is all of our warriors left. It's Kano, it's Sonya, it's Johnny, it's Raiden. It's Baraka, Katana, and Jade. Those are like the 7 those are like our main heroes that are left. In a way, it's kind of like an Infinity War situation where they kind of lose half their number. Because Katana in this, she's been a good person the whole movie because she was like snitching to Earthrealm about Outworld. She was trying to help them out the whole time. So yeah, with most of 90% of the character decisions I loved in this movie. I loved the fights. I loved the visuals. I like that they took chances with deaths. I love a lot of the kills. I loved the makeup and special effects. The brutality of it was all great. Again, there was some good like goosebump moments, and there was some good like sad, more emotional moments in there. Again, my nitpicks are would have liked to have seen more of Bi-Hung and Scorpion. Wish the movie was a little longer. Wish it slowed down a little bit, and I really wish Raiden would have been better in this movie. I really do. I wish Raiden could have been a little better. I just didn't like what they did with Raiden. But overall, man, it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I definitely recommend you going to see it. It was better than the first one for sure. And yeah, it's just a good time. Go see it with some friends. Go have a good time with it. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy this review, make sure to drop a like, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.